The listener needs a very clear chronology of events and in order. Listeners don't like flashbacks or flash forwards. They need clarity and order. As we are working with a traditional story, with a folk tale, we are not going to have any problems in this because it's a story that was born in the oral channel, and due to this, it's already organized, right? We are going to work on the beginning, that also needs clarity and simplicity. And I'm going to share a modern story with you to show you to what extent the storyteller has the lead for changes. In this case, I made big changes in the chronology of the story. I organized it in order, although O. Henry, who is the author, had not written it in this manner, right? And then I resorted to all the other techniques we've been working with, like highlighting the conflict, working on action, and condensing and reducing to a big extent description and reflection. So I'll be inviting you to listen to this story just to contrast and compare the written version, which is also in Module 4, and the oral version. The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. 3 times Della counted the coins. $1.27, and that was all. She had saved so much. How could she buy a present for Jim, for her Jim? After having saved for so long, she insisted. She sat and looked around her apartment, decorated with $8 a week. And then through that grey window, she saw a grey cat walking on a grey railing in a grey yard. Suddenly, she stood up again in front of the mirror and undid her hair, long and wavy. Then she did it up again, put on a brown hat and then a brown jacket, and went out into the streets of New York. She walked and walked and walked until she found that sign, Madame Sofronie, hair goods of all kinds. She entered. Would you buy my hair? Madame Sofronie, beg and cold. I buy hair. Take off your hat and we'll estimate the price. $20. Yes, give them to me at once. And as her hair was being cut, Della remembered that she and Jim had only 2 very valuable possessions. One was, or had been, her hair, and the other was Jim's watch. Those round watches men used to wear in the past with a chain, only that Jim wore it with an old leather strap. Once her hair was cut, Della put on her brown jacket again and her brown hat again and went out into the streets. She ransacked all the shop windows in New York, and there she found it, the platinum chain, ideal for Jim's watch. This watch that had belonged to Jim's father, Jim's grandfather, great-grandfather. $21 she paid for the chain, that beautiful platinum chain. And back she went home with the 27 cents. When she arrived, she looked at herself in the mirror again. And then she took the trouble of doing tiny little curls all over her hair. For God's sake, make him think that I'm still beautiful. And she sat at the end of the table. It was 7:30 and everything was ready for Jim to come back. Jim was never late. Suddenly, she heard footsteps. The door opened and there was Jim, his eyes fixed on Della. Don't look at me like that, Jim. I had my hair cut and sold it. I could not go through Christmas without buying you a present. Did you have your hair cut? Yeah, but it's me anyhow. Do you mean your hair is gone? Don't you like me all the same? And at this time, Jim sat down. Dell, there's no haircut or shampoo or even shave that can make me love my little wife any less. But if you have a look at my present, you will understand. And there he put a parcel on the table. Della picked the parcel and tore the paper apart. They were the comms, those comms that she had worshipped at the Broadway Street shop windows. Oh, Jim, but hair grows so fast. You haven't had a look at my present yet. Alas! And the platinum chain shone on the palm of her hand. This time it was Jim again, sitting down and just grabbing his head. Oh, Dell, I just sold the watch to get the money to buy you the comms. They put the presents aside for a while and they hugged in a silence interrupted by sobs. Oh, Henry finishes this story here, but whenever I tell it, I remember something I heard once. That to be able to receive, you need free hands. Because if your hands are full, there's no room for anything else. And I think that this O. Henry's story is a very good metaphor of that, of the miracle that happens when generosity is added to love.